video, like, subscribe, turn your notification bell on. So yeah, I want to address something. Okay, so obviously you see the caption here, right? You see the title. I've been seeing a lot, okay, and more than I thought I would, but I've been seeing a lot of Spurs fans that are unhappy with the contract extension. Don't get me wrong, I see plenty that are happy, but it stands out like a sore thumb, the amount of hate that I see for the Derrick White contract. Most of those they're not saying, oh, Derrick White is trash, but most of them are saying that he's overpaid. And if I'm being completely honest, in this climate of point guards and guards being the star of the team, I will say that Derrick White is either perfectly paid or even slightly underpaid. Because I've been seeing a lot of comments saying that he's underpaid or he's overpaid, and the Spurs just spent way too much money on him, and that money needs to go somewhere else. People don't realize the fact that Derrick White could be, okay, and I don't even know if I would say arguably. I think definitively I can say that Derrick White is the most important or most valuable player on our team right now. And I genuinely mean that. He is the most valuable asset the San Antonio Spurs has right now. I truly mean that. Because when you look at what he does on the offensive end situations, when you see maybe the heart of the defense, when you see that, not more than about a season ago, he was by far the best defender on the team, and no one even argued that. When you think about that he can guard anybody, when you think about he's the best facilitator on the team, when you think about he's the best passer on the team, like, Derrick White is the most valuable player or valuable asset we have right now. Now, going forward, should that change? Yeah. I think, even seeing Devin Vassell right now, I think Devin Vassell can become that. We know Lonnie Walker's talented enough to become that. But for you to make a statement that the man is overpaid, in comparison to what? We need this point guard. We need this guy. He makes everyone better. And, I saw some comments saying that, wow, how did he get that amount and DJ got his amount? And I would say that Derrick White has shown more right now that he's better, or he's the best, or a better player right now. And when you think about that, what's up, Max? But when you think about that, the Derrick White contract as well, it's not just a Derrick White contract. You can look at it as a DeJounte Murray contract as well, because DeJounte Murray does not look that good without Derrick White. Everyone looks better when Derrick White is on the court. Derrick White helps other players' development as well. He brings so much to the team. So for anybody to say that he's overpaid, you don't know what you're talking about. Not only that, a lot of people are saying, well, we don't have the money for it. It's like, bro, LaMarcus Aldridge is more than likely gone after this season. Okay? And if he is coming back, it's going to be a way lesser contract. Rudy Gay is more than likely gone. Patty Mills, I think part of the reason why Patty Mills is saying I'm going to go, Australian Patty, and he's talking all this stuff and talking himself up and all this, is because he knows this is his last year. He might not come back with the Spurs. So this might be another contract year for him where he goes somewhere else and he gets even more money. He knows that. That's why Patty Mills is talking the way he's talking. That's why Patty Mills isn't motivated the way he's motivated right now. Of course, Patty Mills want to win a championship. He always does. But I think that's part of the reason why we've seen a more vocal Patty this season, so he can remind teams what he brings to the table. Okay? So No, he's not overpaid at all. If anything, we got him on a bargain because Derrick White has done so much for our team already. Like when he was, I keep going back to this, but we keep saying we want to make the playoffs or we want to go deep in the playoffs and whatnot. Derrick White's first year as a starter, ever starting in his career, he never started an NBA game in his career. His first year starting, this man helped us get to the playoffs. He was the best defender on the team all season long. We knew how valuable he was. Okay, when it wasn't Derrick White on the court, we had to deal with Brent Forbes running the offense. He was so valuable, and he helped push us to a Game 7 the Nuggets. If it wasn't for Derrick White, we wouldn't even touch the Game 7. If you keep in mind that Derrick White this is his first time starting, okay? He brought hell earlier in that playoff series. He helped us get some of those wins. And even deep in the playoff series, he was still a good facilitator. He just had some problems with confidence. But after he got that confidence, Derrick White just looks so comfortable out there. He's good around the rim. He can shoot threes. He picks his spots really cleverly. So I'm sorry, man. Overpaid is BS. Like Derrick White is not overpaid by any means. And if you want to make the argument that he's underpaid, I can hear that, but saying the man is overpaid is just blasphemy. This dude has done nothing but been awesome for the Spurs ever since getting there. Even when he first came on the scene and he was getting like 3 minutes a game, and yes, I will keep telling you that I told you so. But even then, I was saying that, okay, this guy can be something special. But I'm sorry, man. I know that he's not flashy. I know, and this is a problem with Spurs fans sometimes, man. Sometimes we judge players based on what they should be, oftentimes, more so than what they actually are right now. And you know, when you look at these contracts, Spurs players are so quick, or Spurs fans are so quick to want the organization to sign certain guys that haven't proven enough yet. Like how a lot of Spurs fans wanted Dedmon. Like, hands down, like, we got to get Dedmon. Dedmon is the guy right there. We got to get Dedmon. And it's like Dedmon hasn't shown anything, and we wanted Dedmon. He hasn't shown anything. Or, you know, or even Bertans. Like when Bertans was with our team, people forget that we played Bertans a lot. And they say, well, look at Bertans now when he's with the Wizards. And the Wizards didn't do anything. It doesn't matter. Yeah, he looked good over the Wizards. He didn't do anything. And then he got a big contract. And there's no way the Spurs could have did that. So we got to stop like undervaluing players and overvaluing players. And look, I'm trying my best not to be like DeJounte Murray hater, but kind of do the same thing with him. Like right now, as it stands, DeJounte Murray has to live up to his contract. He has to. He just has to. Me personally, I don't think it's a bad contract by any means, because I think they were banking more on potential. But as far as Spurs fans are concerned, it's like, oh my God, he could have got paid $100 million. No, he couldn't have. That's what I don't understand. Like, no, he couldn't have. No, he couldn't have. Say he could have got paid so much more somewhere else. No, he couldn't have. He hasn't shown anything yet. And let's stop basing like what we want a player to be, or what a player is, based on how much we like him. Of course, DJ's likable. Of course, he's very charismatic, and he's a player that we're not used to. You know, that there's drama with him sometimes. There's there's a lot of, like, he has those flings or relationships where it's like, ooh, that's interesting and stuff like that. Like, yes, he's interesting. He's fun. I mean, he's the most fun player we've had as far as a personality, and like, intertwining with his personal life, and we learn more about his personal life. I mean, he's the closest thing we had to Tony Parker in that regard. But as far as like talent and what a player brings to the table, dog, you cannot say that Derrick White is overpaid. That's blasphemy. That's straight up blasphemy. That man is not overpaid. That man is paid just how he should be. Just how he should be. He is an amazing, amazing point guard. And you can't devalue what he brings. It's too many people trying to devalue what certain players do. Like, you can't devalue that defense. You can't devalue that passing ability, because I know it doesn't show up on the stats sheet. Okay, I know sometimes it doesn't show up on the stat sheet, because sometimes when he make passes, it's a pass to an assist. Okay, so he makes the right call, and then that player, in position to make a good call as well, and he doesn't get points for that, or he doesn't get anything on the stat sheet for that. And I understand that. And sometimes it's hard to really see how much value he brings when looking at the game after hours, when you're looking at the stats later on. But I really am starting to believe that a lot of these Spurs fans actually don't watch the games. They just see that we're losing, they look at the stats, and then they go about their day. And they're not actually sitting down and watching the game or paying attention. Because if you paid attention even to this last season, even if you paid attention to even seeing the player interviews, every single player early on, especially early in the season, were saying how valuable Derrick White is to the team. Like, every single one of them were saying it. So I don't know what to tell you. Look, I understand. Don't get me wrong. I understand that if you don't watch the games often, you don't know like what Derrick White brings, and you just kind of assuming like, oh, he's overpaid. He's because if you only seen Derrick White for a little bit, you wouldn't really know. You know what I mean? Like, if I look at it as a casual fan, okay. If I'm trying to look at this as a casual fan, that car was like really close to me. But if I try to look at it as like a casual fan, right? It is hard. It is hard to see what he brings as a casual fan, because oftentimes when it comes to Derrick White, especially if you watched him like early on, because we haven't had any nationally televised games in a good minute. But if I start thinking back, like when he started that season, where you had to have caught him. Okay, now that he's coming off the bench right now, it's a possibility you don't catch him a whole bunch or whatever. But anyways, if I'm thinking back when he had to start, okay, when he had to be a starter, there were many games where he didn't look confident, that he looked like he could just be average. You saw some glimpses where it was like, oh, that was good, but then most of the time it was like, you saw his head down often. I went to a Spurs game. It was against the Grizzlies, obviously. I'm from Memphis, so I went to a Spurs game against the Grizzlies, and he was having a terrible first half. Terrible, just terrible. And this is your first time watching Derrick White, you'll be like, oh, he's nothing. But obviously, we've been watching him the whole season at that point. But he had his head down, and when he came to the court, and this wasn't on TV, obviously, but when he came to the court, halftime, right after halftime, before the third quarter, Popovich was talking to him, grabbed him, took him to the side, talked to him, and then you saw, other players starting to talk to him, putting their hands around him, like, hey man, it's gonna be all right. I don't know if he was dealing with anything at the time, but I think it was just him having such a bad game. He was so hard on himself. He had so many fouls in that game, and every player was like trying to. It looked as if I was close enough where I could tell that it looked as if they were just trying to encourage him, like, bro, you're good enough. It's gonna be all right, whatnot. Now, if that's your only game seeing Derrick White, or one of the 10 that you've seen Derrick White, yeah, you would think that he's not worth it. But if you actually watched every game, you'll realize that every time he's on the court, the team is better. He is so worth the money. 4 years of Derrick White, that is so good. That is so good. And on top of that, and that's another thing too. It's not even like the amount of money he's getting paid is crazy. like 73 million, 4 years. That's not a crazy contract. That's not a crazy contract by any means. That's a good contract. I mean, it doesn't hurt us none. We got a lot of money. We're gonna have a lot of money. Okay? We're gonna have a lot of money upcoming season. Like, that means that's nothing to us. I think DJ's contract was more of a contract of what can be, that he can live up to the contract. I don't think he necessarily has, but I think he can live up to that contract. And then with Derrick White's contract, I think he's already lived up to it, and I think that he can even get past that. Derrick White technically isn't in his prime yet. He might not be in his prime yet. Now, his ceiling, I don't think is that much higher, but I don't think he's prime Derrick White yet. He just shown that he's confident. Clan is there show tonight. Yeah, with OC. Yeah, it is. But yeah, no, that whole overpaid thing, that's bogus, dude. I'm sorry, like, I don't want to just talk bad about you, but you're a casual. Like, you're not paying attention. You're not paying attention to the team. You're not paying attention to this guy's game. And you undervalue players you shouldn't, and you overvalue players you shouldn't. Right now, as it stands, for what team we have Derrick White is the most valuable asset to this team. Most valuable asset. And I know he's not flashy. I know he's not super charismatic. I know he talked, in interviews, and he's kind of nerdy, and he's kind of quiet, and I get it. But no, this dude, and he is, just because he's not the most flashy of players as far as his charisma and his interviews and stuff like that, doesn't necessarily mean that he's overpaid. Like, you stop just looking at the celebrity of players, and you just look at what they do on the court. The last thing we need is celebrities. Okay, Kawhi Leonard at this point, his personality, which is really weird, by the way, but his personality has become not just a meme, but it's become a celebrity. We can get screwed over. We need players that are loyal. We need players that are tough. Players that do the intangibles. Players that weren't looked down upon by other teams, that were looked past by other teams. Those are the type of players that you get to keep. Those are the type of players that will ride or die for you, and those are the type of players that you need if you want to win a championship in San Antonio. Because just face the facts, we're not going to be getting any Giannis's anytime soon. We're going to have to build within. Kawhi Leonard was supposed to hold that torch, but every single player we've had previous that were superstars were built within. So you gotta build within. Let's not start looking at the celebrity of players and stuff like that, because we can really get screwed over by that. And don't get me wrong, Kawhi Leonard was built within, but that's like a diva. Man, that last interview, I'm about to go in a minute, guys, but do you remember, or did you see what he said? That Clippers interview? Oh my gosh, dude. I'm like, everybody's saying we should sign back. No, I'm pretty happy he's gone, because that interview was bad to me. Like, he straight up said, I'm not saying that I'm leaving. And he could have left it at, but he was like, I'm not saying I'm staying either. It was like, damn, Kawhi. I was like, this guy's ridiculous, man. How do you make him happy? But all right, guys, I'm about to go ahead and get off. I appreciate all the love. Like I said, Derrick White is not overpaid. Okay, he's perfectly paid. All right, that's my boy. And yeah, we're gonna do a show tonight. Also, join the group chat. The group chat link is below. Okay, it's the first link on there, and I'll give it to you later. Yes, we got to talk about that Marshall Mathers or Music to Be Murdered by later. All right, guys. All right, pieces.